these two games they'll go through. Well, quite simply, the Colombo Stars' net run rate was absolutely obliterated in the previous game against the Jaffna Kings. They lost by 102 runs. So this, yes, is a big one for the Kandy Warriors. Niroshan Dikwela, we know he's a wonderful little player who likes to sweep. He hasn't been able to do in this successful opening stand or opening partnership with Phil Salt is he hasn't been the one to push on yet. Phil Salt is the highest run scorer in the LPL for this edition of the LPL, 244 runs. We are nearly underway. It's going to be spin that's going to start the innings. And there's no time to have a look. It's time to get on with things straight away. The surface has played half decently. We saw a little bit of turn, maybe a touch slow. But here we go. A wide to start, and it will run away down that hill and probably be 4 of them.
Very important to set the tone, and that was a poor delivery. That was really poor. Nimesh Vimukti just firing down the leg side. It was a wide, and Vinod Bhanuka just couldn't get his body behind it. It was a poor start, really poor start. But having said that, this game is important for Dambulla too, because they want to be in the top 2. So they are determined, they're quite desperate to win this game, just to make sure that they have 2 opportunities, just in case.
Runs off the bat. Yeah, that'll take them to 9 points if they had to win this, the Giants. But the Gaul Gladiators also have an opportunity to go to 9 points. They play tomorrow.
Just to confirm what Roshan Abesinga said about having 2 opportunities if you place in 1 or 2 after that first qualifier. If you don't win, you get another chance to play the winner of that eliminator. Have a chance to go to the final. That's why it's important to qualify in 1-2.
Dambulla will also have to keep an eye on their run rate, because the Gaul Gladiators' run rate is better. And winning would obviously improve the run rate. It's a bit of bounce there. Certainly not much of turn, but certainly bounce.
That's not the right length. The previous delivery maybe. That one's a little bit on the short side. This is the route to the final. So the Jaffna Kings are already in that qualifier 1, and who they play remains to be seen. The winner of that fixture goes directly to the final, and the loser of qualifier 1 will play against the winner of the eliminator.
And I like that the format has changed from last year, because it allows for the more consistent teams to get the better opportunity of being in the final. So there is a prize or an incentive for you playing well during the league stage. Intensity of your play and ability to win, having a higher weighting this year.
And on top of that, if someone manages to get all the way through from the eliminator, it means they've got to win 3 on the trot, which would probably say, well, then, okay, you deserve to win it, because to win 3 on the bounce in T20 takes some doing. Down the ground, it'll just be 1, and it will end the first, 7 without loss.
What he will also do is, if one of the 2 top teams, particularly let's take Jaffna for example, they've won all their games and they're going to be top 2, and even if they lose a game, they've got another opportunity, which is a good sign, and it helps you to recover, because top teams need to be supported. Sudden death really doesn't help, like as you said last time.
Yanage at number 3, half century in the previous game. A little bit of a find for the Giants. They have struggled in that middle period. Benura Fernando, left arm quick, will be entrusted with the new ball. A couple of left armers in the side. Faraz Ahmed, who actually left out of the previous game, but has played. Has had a good tournament so far, the left armer from the UAE. Played his very first T20 game here.
Well, I was out there in the middle for the toss and I saw him warming up, and he's a little bit quicker than you think. Watching him on television, he looks like a military medium, but he's got an extra zip to his bowling. There he is.
Good running. Good running. A nice early call.
The opening partnership of this pair has been pretty impressive. That was a last shot. They look to be making a valiant effort. It's to his strong side. And I think and Salt has always provided the stability, provided the platform.
Well, Angelo Pereira would have had discussions about these two. If you're looking to beat a side like Dambulla Giants, you must focus on the openers and what they've done in the past. Salt in particular likes to hit the ball off the front foot, so your length needs to be adjusted.
And that's another good run. Salt very aware at the non-strikers end. Digwella just looked at him.
I also like the fact that Angelo Pereira has gone with a spinner and a fast bowler to open the bowling, because sometimes as an opening batsman you realize that they're going to come at you with spin. You start thinking about your sweep, you start planning your innings a lot better on your feet. This will just keep them a little more open-minded as openers.
Dug out, wants to, but it's going to need Digwella to get a move on, and he's sent back.
I also feel if Angelo Pereira is able to starve Phil Salt from early boundaries, that will just create a little more pressure on him to maybe manufacture a stroke, because he's so accustomed to getting his innings off with a jump start. If you push him out of his comfort zone, you just might get an opportunity for a wicket.
What we have seen, though, is something that you pointed out from early on, is the last couple of games we've seen the vulnerability of the middle order. Again, nice early, that's great running. Just the vulnerability of that middle order to push things on. They've almost become too reliant on the good start at the beginning. Do have Majabullah Zadran, Runaratne, Ramesh Mendez, Hassan Shanaka. They do have the quality, just hasn't kicked on yet. He's nailing his Yorkers.
Very courageous by Benura Fernando to go for his Yorker straight up, and he is getting into that mode of death bowling quite early, which is not a bad plan in these conditions. That's the attacking Yorker, wicket to wicket, full and straight.
One of our sponsors, Munchie, #1 biscuit brand here in Sri Lanka. Got him. That's an enormous wicket. And what an over this has been from Fernando.
What was that? What was that? He's got the big wicket. He was speaking about drying Salt and, of course, Digwella. That's brilliantly done by Benura Fernando.
The umpires will just check to ensure the legality of the delivery. But it looks like Benura Fernando has dissolved salt. Water delivery, back-to-back Yorkers, and he nails it. End of the second, 11 for 1.
Salt's gone for 3, 11 for 1. Split them in two.
Became easy, spinning back into the left-hander. And Dambulla just going with the tide, hitting it to square leg. It's just a hint and touch short as well. Nice bounce. Easily done.
He has a job now, Niroshan Dambulla. It's normally him that gets dismissed first, and Salt is the one that's gone on. His partner has been dismissed early, and now he has a job on his hands. Deep square leg. Just be a single, and it'll bring the young man on strike. Lianage. What about this for a delivery?
The accuracy of Fernando, that was the first delivery. Then the second was the wicket take-up of the inside edge onto the stumps. That's no Turkish chef, Salt Bay.
Very innocent though. I liked it actually. It was quite clever. Plenty of our sponsors now on show. Red Bull. We've seen the players having sips of that throughout the evening. One or two commentators here when there's been some rain delays. We've needed it to push on through the evening. A little bit of pressure on this young man. His performance in his first game, there's an expectation from many around. Beautifully bowled, and what a catch! What a catch that is from the captain.
What a great level of this game is. In the previous game, he was in the clouds, and now he's in the valley. The umpires are just checking.
Also got to give credit to the bowler, the Mukti. Having a look again, that spun sharply. It was a delivery that he had to play. Oh, there. We've seen some sensational catches in this tournament. And this one from Angelo Pereira, right up there with the very best. Lianage goes without scoring, 16 for 2.
fancied in the crowd. He needs to do a job out in the middle. A big job. His team are in a spot of bother. The reliable top order is virtually done. It took a great catch, though. It really took a special catch.
The Renegade can take heart from this dismissal. He can't beat up on himself too much. Sometimes in cricket you get a delivery that just is better than you on the day. When the captain gets involved with a brilliant catch, but accept it as a player.
Yeah, I suppose I've waxed lyrical about the catch, but it was a fairly special delivery, wasn't it? I mean, it turned, it bounced, it hit high up on the bat.
I know that Angelo Pereira dropped a fairly simple chance in that previous game, going for that reverse cup, but let's not forget that he's one of the better fielders in the local circuit. He's an outstanding catcher. Very safe. Seen him take some breathtaking catches.
Runs. 4 of them, a much needed boundary.
He was struck on the up, Narushan Dikwala. He's got the currency of confidence, and that's runs behind his name. Both himself and Phil Salt looked rather fluent throughout this entire tournament. Few batsmen can do this. Hit the ball on the up and find the gap with ease through that offside.
Got him. A boundary and then a wicket. Celebrations for Banura Fernando again.
The big man, he struck, he's dismissed both openers. 2 very good deliveries. A York off the previous one. 2 was inside edge. You know that Dikwala doesn't move his feet much. But, inside edge onto the stumps, cannoning onto the stumps. Giants are definitely in trouble. Out for 12. They're 20 for 3.
Dambulla Sadran. He's walking to the wicket with some work to do for the Giants. They're 20 for 3. They're in trouble. You look at this as a great opportunity. He's got plenty of overs. He can build an innings. He has the opportunity to build innings. We know he's a clean striker of the ball, but there's some batting to be done here. Another Yorker. He's not missing them.
Nice boys, come on!
Well, just like his fellow opener, Narushan Dikwala, just getting the inside edge and the ball ricocheting onto the stumps. And the Warriors on a high. That's 3 important wickets within the power play.
And a dot to finish. A good over, another successful one, 20 for 3. Next in the all-rounder, Karunaratne Mendes. They've not been in this position before, the Dambulla Giants. Their main player, Full Salt, is gone. He's back in the hut. So is Niroshan Dikbella. Kamindu Mendes now into the attack. So more spin.
It's a great gesture by Sri Lanka Cricket to invite differently able children to watch cricket. It's great to see them being supported and recognized. Sri Lanka has a cricket team comprising of deaf and blind cricketers. And it's great to see kids at that age coming over, enjoying something, being supported by adults and being recognized.
Who knows, maybe future players for Sri Lanka. That special team. Looks like they're having fun. Welcome to you guys.
That'll be a wide. Again from the captain. I know it's a wide, but there's nothing in the stroke. The front foot gets planted and there's just a waft of the bat. Nearly another chop on. So close. An inside edge found. It whistles past leg stump. The captain survives.
Hitting across the turn. Kamindu Mendes. Away from the batsman. Is that called for at this stage of the innings? Not quite sure after losing 3 wickets.
Having a stretch of his lower back there, the captain, Dasun Shanaka. It looks as though he's hurting a little, actually. He's just a bit ginger. The Warriors are turning it on here. Never too late. A couple of wins will see them go through to the playoffs. And the momentum will then be with them. A wonderful first 5 overs for the Kandy Warriors. 26 for 3.
It's do or die for the Kandy Warriors, and at the moment they are doing. 3 wickets in the first 5 overs of the Dambulla Giants innings. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Looks like Shiraz Ahmed is going to come into the attack, left arm seamer from the UAE, who's scored very well in the games that he's played in. Let's have a look at those 3 wickets. Looks like Dasun Shanaka is going off the field of play. We saw him stretching his lower back. He does have issues with it. And he looked very ginger his final couple of deliveries. That's a big blow, Favis.
He had this last week and even for scans as well. And it's a lower back which has been injuring for a while now, and it's flared up. When I spoke to him last, he's trying to maintain it, play through it, but just hope it's not that bad. hopefully recover soon.
Yeah, his team requires him. His experience, his handling of the situation at the moment. Kandy Warriors are handling it very nicely. Oh, this man is a revelation. Oh, what a catch that was. Unbelievable. Not the first time you have seen Dick Vella chopping it on. Whenever he's looking to play, a left-arm fast bowler just tries to play the ball away from the body. He's been paying the price. Haven't learned.
Interesting move by Dambulla. Sachita Jaitilaka going up the order. Strike rate 108 in 23 matches. Best of 43. Been used primarily as a leg spinner so far by Dambulla. But they are effectively 26 for 4 now as Shiraz comes into the attack. 5 wickets in 3 games. Economy rate 7.5. He's bowled well. Equally nailed his Yorkers. Good start. Jaitilaka right in that corridor of uncertainty.
I think Kandy Warriors has done well. Shiraz, whenever he was in the squad, surprisingly in the last game, and today straight away making his mark. Better balanced team with Shiraz Ahmed in. Surprised that Shazad is dropping out, to be very honest. Saying that, I think horses for courses, they got to win to stay in the competition.
Start with the ball by Kandy Warriors, and with Dambulla effectively 26 for 4, they are well behind the 8 ball at the moment.
Yeah, once again creating that angle, forcing the batsman, playing the ball away from the body, and there is a slip in place. Good lines already from Shiraz. Although he hasn't got enough experience in T20 cricket, but bowling with the right idea.
I think repairs to be done. Not too comfortable with his landing, probably one more pair of socks. Not really wanting it in. Preparations. Play professionally. Preparation is very, very important.
Well, I hope that sock's not too sweaty that he's about to put on, because it's been worn, not a fresh one. Well, they need to get some Dettol on that sock immediately. Sanitize it. We've been using Dettol up here for our hands, our official hygiene partner. So it's been a stop-start last couple of overs. First of all, Shanaka going off, retired hurt. Now Shiraz wants an extra sock.
Borrowed shoes, maybe. Yeah, he's handled the situation quite well. Angelo Pereira has to keep on urging his bowlers. Keep on doing the job. Can't afford to be complacent.
Cricket is back, music is back, and the dancing is back. And the drone doing his thing. Colombo 10, isn't it? Being a weekday usually.
Colombo 10 or 7.
Colombo 10 is my hometown. He's born and brought up very, very close to Kettarama Stadium. Colombo 7 is a bit far, but the nicest area to live in Sri Lanka.
Colombo 7, a very nice area. And right now, Shiraz Ahmed is bowling good areas. Perfect. Very good line and length bowling, this proper bowling.
Just on this new batsman, Sachita Jaitilaka, product from St. Thomas College, Mount Lavinia, done really well in rugby and cricket. But he's just finding his way in rugby. He has played very well for the college, I was told. Good to see him coming through the system.
And what position he is?
Looks like a top forward.
I was going to say flanker. He looks like a number 6 to me. Blindside flanker. He's away. No, he's not. Short fine leg in place. The dot's building here. 5 in a row. Could be a maiden.
Well, I can tell you, he's batting at number 5 in this game.
Angelo Pereira, brilliant catch, straight away into the game. Just think Kandy Warriors could be in this game and win this game. Angelo Pereira's presence, captaincy, batting is going to be very, very key. With Shiraz Ahmed setting up the tone.
Tillicka gets away finally, and he gets away with 2, but it's still very much a power play that's belonged to the Kandy Warriors. 28 for 3.
Brilliant power play for the Warriors. 28 for 3. And Dasun Chanaka injured, might not bat again. It's a huge blow for the Dambulla Giants, who want to win this game to stay in the top 2. The power plays against the Warriors. First game 74 for no loss. That's the game. Salt and pepper. The color. Hammer and Tongs got 74 for no loss on today. Those 2 batsmen failing. Reeling at 28 for 3. It's good stuff by the Warriors. Has to win this game to stay in the competition. And someone has said to start well, this is the perfect start.
Angelo Pereira's taken some stunners in this tournament. That was hit hard right at him. Took it sitting down, having parried the delivery up. This one was really hard, going back over his shoulder. He called off the fielder coming in from long on. Really good catch that. And this, probably the pick of them at slip. Absolute screamer that, one-handed. And all very different kinds of catches too, in different positions.
And he's kind of ambidextrous. That helped. Taking that catch in the slips. Bowls left-handed, bats right-handed. Showing the dexterity and also flexibility. Angelo.
Now he's kind of, as you say, ambidextrous because he bats right-handed and bowls left-arm spin. The man bowling at the moment is a genuine ambidextrous bowler from Indian Mendes. Bowls off-spin and left-arm spin. Apparently he started as an off-spinner and then learned left-arm spin. Such an incredible skill to have that. Still can't get my head around it. We've got not 1 but 2 ambidextrous bowlers in the Sri Lanka Premier League. There's a lot about the quality that they have here in Sri Lanka and the unorthodoxy that you find as well. And that's bitten.
It's important that these 2 batsmen sets up some sort of a path to the rest of the batsmen. Because not much batting to come. It's all rounders in Ramesh Mendes, Charm, Karunaratne, all these players loves to hit big and bat hard. It's a good shot by Jayatillaka. 2 extra cover. Fielded as well at mid-off. Saving 2 runs. That looks like Charit Asalanka, safest fielders going around. Jayatillaka naturally is a big hitter, but he has to adapt to the situation of the game.
Well, he didn't have to tell us that. With his pitch, you could easily tell. And also, you told us he's a rugby player. So it's a given. He's got to hit the ball very hard. A good effort to save 1 run for his side, Alami.
He's a rugby player. Alamin's a football player here. This sticks a big right boot on it. Crucial moment. Good bit of control. There you go, side foot. Good technique.
And that's good fielding by Lamin, saving 2 runs for the Warriors.
Hesitation that they'd come through. So 7 off that over, 35 for 3.
Excuse me. the last fifth ball, Al-Amin Hussain saved actually 1, not 2. The Giants so far losing 3 wickets, and Dasun Chanak retired third. A big blow. The batsman to come, Chamik Karanratne, Tarun Ratnayaka, Ramesh Mendis. Probably Ramesh Mendis might bat at number 7, and Karanratne at 8, and Ratnayaka at 9. Zadran is going to hold the key for the Giants, and Jayadireka. He started well so far.
Right, we have a special guest with us today, former Sri Lankan head coach Mickey Arthur, and I'm delighted to say H.D. Ackerman is going to speak to him right now.
Yeah, we're being very spoiled here. We've got Mickey Arthur here with us. Mickey, thank you very much for joining us. I know you're trying to get some sunlight in before you head to the cold of England. Yeah. You've watched a little bit of the Lankan Premier League. What have you made of it so far?
Yeah, look, I think there's been some really good stuff. I think it's such a good league. Particularly for the younger players, because it allows them to play under a little bit of pressure. You know, there's a crowd and there's a good TV audience, and you can go and have a million nets, but you can't replicate that. So it's been really good so far.
So that's how you view this tournament to enhance Sri Lankan cricket as a whole.
100%. It has to be like that. You know, it has to be allowing young players to develop. It's got to be allowing the franchises to be very competitive against each other. But the young players must be put under pressure, and they have to then come through that.
I know it's only in its infancy stage, Mickey, this whole tournament, the second edition of LPL. In your opinion, or what you've seen, what can the competition do to become better, to make it better around the world?
I think first and foremost, I think there's room for one more team. When you have a look, like I was just watching the game before, Patam Nasanka, Kila Dhanajaya, Laksan Sanikan weren't playing. Those are guys that were in the World Cup squad, you know, so I think one more team could facilitate that. There's a lot of good players that didn't get picked. I think you could get one more team, and as long as the competition stays good and sound, and you get good overseas players like we've had, I think the tournament will just get better and better.
Now, when you were in charge, you did it the hard way at the World Cup in the UAE, having to go through the qualifying stages. That's going to happen again in the World Cup, which is coming up shortly in Australia. How do you view the team now that you're on the outside?
I think the team's on the up. You know, the one thing I take a lot of pride in, I think I've left it in a far better state than I found it, and for any coach, that's what you want to do. I think if they stay consistent, which I'm sure the selection panel will, stay consistent with these good players, there's definite role clarity with them now. They've just got to be backed, and if they're backed, you'll get some talent. I tell you, I'm so happy you don't have to qualify again. That was the first time I had to do it as a coach, and that is the most pressure I've ever felt in my life.
Do you think it assisted though in the way you played in the group stages, having to go through that pressure?
That's the way we spun it.
Okay.
We spun it that we'd be the best prepared side in the comp because we would have come out of 3 tough games. But at the back of your mind, you don't want to come a cropper against some really good associate teams now. So. We had a couple of glasses of wine when we qualified that night.
Mick, I know we've been speaking T20. What about the red ball game? Your last test series, you beat the West Indies 2-0. Yeah. How do you view Sri Lanka, particularly playing away from home?
Yeah, it's interesting that, because I think our test team's in really good position, really good shape. I think it's very well led by Dumut. There's a lot of really good experienced players there. Funny enough, Sri Lanka, we've developed a really good crop of quick bowlers. Dushmanta Chamira is world class now. Saranga Lakmal's the Asian Anderson. You've got Vishwa Fernando, bowls left arm pace. There's a Sita Fernando. There's Chamika Karunaratne. There's so many good young quicks that we've got in the pot there. Kasan Rajita, who's injured at the moment. So I think Sri Lanka can hold their own away from home as well. And one thing I do know about these batsmen, they can play outside the subcontinent. Their techniques are good enough. Yeah. So I think the Red Bull team's in good shape.
Okay, Mick, just one last question. I promise we're going to let you go now. If you had to pick a team on what you've seen so far to win this competition, out on a limb, quickly.
Oh, it has to be Jaffna. I think Jaffna looked the best all-round team in the comp.
All right, fantastic. Mickey Arthur, thank you very much for your time, and good luck in your future endeavours.
Pleasure, thank you.
Back up to you guys.
8 overs gone, 40-3.
those are the buildings so far. The Giants, not so big, been mainly because of good bowling. But the Warriors start really well. Spinners, the fast bowlers, Bindo Fernando setting up the tone, sending back the two openers in Salt and Ocean Dikwala, and Vimukti getting rid of Janit Tilage, who's got 50 in the last game.
Oh, Jai Tilaka goes straight, just beats the man and goes over the rope as well. So it's first 6 of the innings.
He just directed the ball. No backlift. Just thumped it. Sailed over the boundary line. It was good to see a broad smile worn by Mickey Arthur for a change. And indeed, did a good job. I'm convinced he's a good manager.
He's one of the most likeable people in international cricket, Mickey Arthur. He's always so positive. And he backs his players. Very positive there about the young talent in Sri Lanka. A number of players that he said he thinks can go on to greater things, the likes of Charat Asalanka, Patam Nisanka. Very vocal on social media about them.
That's better length by Kamindu Mendis. The first ball, it wasn't a hitting mark. We saw in the first game as well. With the DKC and many others, anything in the arc in the hitting zone, you can go through the line. The next couple of deliveries is much flatter and slightly shorter. Batsman cannot get underneath. So that's something that the Kandy Warriors should be very, very mindful.
Who'd have thought that 8.4 overs into the Dambulla Giants innings that they've only hit 2 4s and 1 6 with all of the power, particularly up top, that they've got. That's how well Kandy have bowled. Top edge, reverse sweep. He's lucky there, Najibullah. Is there a chance of a run out? But that could easily have carried to the man behind square on the offside, Alamin.
Yeah, he can't resist this reverse sweep. Yeah, it's a common knowledge now. They are heavily reliant on Phil Salt's effort. If he doesn't score, Giants struggle. 9 gone, 48 for 3. And it's going to be timeout.
Kandy Warriors simply have to win today against Dambulla Giants, and they've started brilliantly with the ball. The Giants 48 for 3, but Dustin Shanaka has retired hurt, so effectively could be 48 for 4 here. And they're going to have to go some to get a score that's defendable. 7 and over gets them up to 125. 9 and over, 147. That would be certainly a score they'd take from here, I think. Mukti back into the attack. Turn immediately, but it's going to be a wide.
The square turner to start with. Line was just a bit too straight. Mukti took the of Janet Linage. Brilliant delivery. Zadran at that time. He's repeating that. That's better. The line is better. The length is better. It's beautifully bowled by the young man.
Yeah, that's what I like from a left-arm spinner. Ball wide of the off stump to a left-handed batsman, especially when you're bowling around the stumps. Again, tried that reverse sweep, getting an inside edge and a boundary. Much needed boundary.
Brings up the 50 as well. Zadran, he just can't help himself. As soon as he sees the line, he's going for it premeditated as well. And at that time, he was going with the angle. He didn't turn back. Got the inside edge probably. And missing Minod Bhanuka for boundary.
You're fielding behind the square on the offside to Najibullah. You are ready the whole time because that reverse sweep comes out frequently.
Plenty of bowling options for the Giants in this game. 3 spinners, frontline spinners. And they have brought Mashan Dilanga in their lineup as well. It's got an awkward action. They have to decide very, very quickly where they want to be at the end of the 20th over. Because it's turning. And turning mild.
And Angelo Pereira has lots of bowling options today. For himself, he's got Charit Asalanka, the off-spinner, Sailor Gunaratna, with a pace-off seam, Ravi Bopara, and then Alamin, who's a genuine fast bowler.
One battle, Mary, Amir Bhai, looking forward to Martin Dilanga against Kenal Lewis today. And that will be a blockbuster. Martin Dilanga likes to bowl quick, and Kenal Lewis, we all know what he likes to do as well.
Big spin again. So, halfway through the innings, Dambulla Giants 54 for 3.
You know what's gone 54 for 3, the Dambulla Giants winning the toss and batting first. Lots of changes in the Kandy Warriors team. These are the options available. Gunaratna's there. Nimesh Vumukti has been good. Alamin Hussain, Shiraz Ahmed. Geez, that's a long list. Alamin Hussain. Quietly a partnership building. 28. Now 30 of 33. Dasun Shanaka was taken off with a stiff back. That's what we're made to believe. And probably he'll be munching on some Kome. Just to get his mind off his pains. Gunaratne at mid-off gets an easy one. That partnership is now broken.
Yeah, once again, another soft one. Just hitting it down the throat. Dambulla really couldn't express himself too much. I mean, not very pacey, but the ball finding the fielder at mid-off. The Giants are sinking further. This is a huge performance by the Kandy Warriors. They made some massive statements in this game so far. Zadran goes for 14. They're now 56 for 4.
Shamika Karunaratne is the new batsman. Work to do, work to do. Ramesh Mendis to come now from a Kandy Warriors point of view. They'll have to keep their foot on the throat of the Giants because you never know their turn on this pitch, what pressure can do for you.
Angelo Pereira spoke at the toss about how his side has given away strong positions. This wicket has ensured that they remain in a strong position. In the last 5 overs of their bowling, they've been going at an average of 10 to the over, which only backs up what Angelo Pereira has been saying about his team. So he needs to lead here. This is a critical period for his side.
Yeah, they dropped catches as well in the field. Winning positions were squandered like that. I can think of 3 games that they should have easily sealed off. One was against the Kings when they had 39 off 3, the ball flying everywhere. They just couldn't get over there.
That one can be put down to the fact that their bowling resources aren't great. Their death bowlers haven't really done their bit, and they haven't had good death bowlers. This has gone high. Lewis underneath it. Has he made a meal of it or has he taken it? I think he's taken it. Shamika Karunaratne goes. And the Kandy Warriors are making real inroads into this batting.
Oh, that's massive. That's massive. Karunaratne can do a lot of damage. Top edge. Oh, yes, misjudged it for a moment, but those mitts are huge. He certainly had his meal. He knew what was coming and he knew it was the ball. Karunaratne for naught. 56 for 5. Ramesh Mendis and the batsmen have crossed while that ball was in the air. Oh, yes. Little bit of nip away. 2 runs and the 2 wickets. 56 for 5. wickets keep falling. Couple of wickets in the last over. It's 56 for 6 effectively. We're thinking Dasun Shanaka will not be able to come back to bat. Off the mark, Mendes. There you go. The bull, the Red Bull. Bulls all over the place. Different looking field for the power hitting Jayatilaka. There's a slip, a point, 2 behind square on the leg side. Mid wicket, long on, long off, wideish long off.
This took some catching. It went high in the air. Kenal Lewis is a big man and he had to make up some space away to his left and eventually needed a dive, but kept his head nice and still and holds on to a goodie.
See, looking at the Dambulla performance, they seem to have got into a little pattern here. They have lost 2 games. Another look. Very good catch. He's a big unit. Is the end delighted. Lost to Jaffna by 7 wickets. Then they lost to Gaul by 9. They don't seem to have recovered from that little pattern that they have fallen into. Oh, could have been an outstanding catch had he taken it. Could have been an outstanding catch to his right. Don't forget, that's his weak side.
Don't think there was a lot of power behind it. I thought he got his hands in an awkward position. There you go. Initially, it was in self-preservation. And then realized it was much lower. Oh, they're asking for it. They're asking for it. They are excited. Minod Banuka. No, there's no reviewing that one, Angelo Pereira. Last ball of Vimukti's 4-over spell. More turn in this game from the 17th game, which was against Jaffna and Colombo. 4 off the over, 60 for 5. Eight overs remaining. What would be a good score, HD? You're 60 for 5, effectively 60 for 6. Stay in the game. Give yourself some chance.
Getting there, Russell, is the problem. I mean, I have to say 130. I think that is something you can bowl to, but the problem is you still got to find those 70 runs in 8 overs, which is going to take some doing, considering you 5 down.
And another thing that works in Kandy Warriors' favour is you mentioned that they go for a lot in the last 5. The fact that they've picked up so many wickets, the tail in design, so that should also help their cause. The lowest score defended successfully in LPL 2 here at the R. Premadasa Stadium. It's 134. That was in a 14-over game. In a 20-over game, it's 138. So it's around that mark that you mentioned, actually.
Yeah. He's bowled well, Alamin. Picked up Dambulla Zadran. And then a good catch by Kenal Lewis in the deep to get rid of Karunaratne. Yeah, the thing is that you also got to look at the opposition, is that they're desperate for a win. They haven't batted particularly well. They know that there's a flimsy batting lineup or lack of confidence, and that's what the Giants should be saying. So just post something which gives us a chance.
Oh, he got his front leg right across.
But again, the question is, and I'll ask you, how do you get to that 130 when you 5 down? You've got Mendes, you've got Jayatilaka. I think that might have knocked the middle stump off the ground if he'd have missed that. But he's trying to find the gap from a very square, fine leg. He's trying to get that finer in.
There was a handicap with Dasun Shanaka being injured. You're not sure whether he's going to bat, so that's a huge handicap as far as they're concerned. So what they have in terms of batting, this pair is pretty limited. Got Tariq Ratnayaka who can throw the bat around, but Langa and Tahir aren't having great reputations. Batsmanship. This has been pretty difficult boundaries for them. Just 3 4s and a 6 in this inning so far.
Oh boy, that was awful. Everything wrong about that one. But from a tournament point of view, how good would it be if the Kandy Warriors did go on to win? Tomorrow we'll have a straight shootout.
Yeah, and I'm not